Mississippi Outdoors Radio. On Super Talk Mississippi here in the JT Show, Dove Hughes here. You're welcome, Adam.
Dove, I like it.
I'm just owning it now.
I think you should, it's like your, what do they call it, like an alter ego or something, Switch personality. You're Dave all morning, and then we roll in, and you could be Dove.
Everybody would choose as their alter ego would be a Dove.
Yeah, definitely. During Dove season, I noticed. Thanks, by the way.
Right. Dove season is still open.
I know. It's what I'm talking about. You're trying to make something happen here, Adam?
Is there something underneath the surface here that's brewing?
I don't know.
Chris, I might need your help before this is over.
I got your back, Dave.
Thank you. I appreciate
whatever
that.
Your name is.
Major Chris Reed.
We could have came up with a lot worse.
You really could have. I'm kind of surprised you didn't.
I mean, the spectrum swings both ways, I think.
Yeah. No, in this room, it is only one direction. It's down. Adam Butler, wildlife biologist. And not just do we have you back in the studio, we got a full house in here today.
We've got a full house. Yep.
I like this. So go around. We know Chris.
We know Chris.
We know you.
We know me.
You got Scooter over here.
We know Scooter. Scooter's been here before.
Yeah, he's been here before.
Yeah, Scooter Wiley, producer of Mississippi Outdoors TV. And, drum roll, we have with us Miss Amanda Mills-Jones.
Hi.
Hi. Get that microphone in front of your thing.
She's back.
Yes.
She's back.
She's back. She vanished. Were you sequestered in an undisclosed location? What happened?
No, I am thrilled to be back on Mississippi Outdoors. I was on it years ago with Melvin Tingle, and about 5 or 6 years I was off the show, and now I'm back on. So it's exciting.
Fantastic.
So we got a few shows lined up, I guess, this fall to kick it off, and that's why they're here today.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about it. But we wanted to see Dove, that's how much we care about you. We announced to the world that Amanda Mills is back on Mississippi Outdoors television.
Be breaking news.
Breaking news, baby.
There you go.
It's what we're all about in here.
Need to change the ticker thing.
And Amanda, I would like to thank you for taking pity on these guys and classing the joint up again. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Okay. I like how her answer is just yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm disagreeing with none of that. Yes. Before we get into Mississippi Outdoors TV, though, some other things that we're going to talk about. And number one, I think it was last week Chris made mention of the fact that last year at the start of deer season it was like 97 degrees.
Yep, it was hot.
Yeah,
I remember. Had to hydrate before you went hunting.
Well, remember we on the radio show we actually talked about hey, if you get a deer, you need to get it on ice.
Right,
quick.
you need to try to get it cooled down because it's so hot. It was really inappropriate.
May not be a problem this year.
Could be a little different opener this year.
Yeah, just a little bit.
We don't want to push the. We want to kind of keep our fingers crossed because sometimes the weather forecasts don't prove to be true. So we just want it to kind of pan out toward the end of the weekend and stay with what they're saying right now.
Well, right now what they're saying in the forecast, and I was looking at it before we went on the air today, depending on where you're at in the state, I know Friday night in Tupelo, the low is forecast to be 44.
Woo. Come on.
All the way down to the coast, Gulfport, the low is forecast to be 54. Which is the hottest low we've got in the state, and then it's a nice little range in between. But the majority of the state, I'd say the northern two-thirds of the state, forecast to be in the 40s somewhere Friday night.
Yeah, and
in the 60s.
I can't remember it ever being like this on an archery opener.
There was an opening weekend 7 years ago where I remember the opening weekend was in the 50s and or mid-60s, cool weather, and there was a lot of big deer that were harvested that weekend. So I imagine a lot of people have been running those trail cameras and they got some target bucks and they're just waiting. And there'll be some success had this weekend.
No
there
doubt.
will be some success had. So if you got a good deer and you can't hunt, let us know about it and don't let Butler know. Let me know.
Yeah, you got channels.
I'll take me and Dove. We'll go do a show or something.
Yeah, we'll take care. We'll check it out. We'll do a census
the really
of the
cool
wildlife.
thing about this forecast, though, is it's not like it's just a little blip. It's not like it's like the next 2 weeks they're showing, maybe 70-ish and lows in the 50s and
We're
stuff.
not going to know what to do with ourselves. Yeah. 2020 is just a weird year.
That is the first time in 8 months I have heard somebody say the new normal, and I smiled.
Right.
Yeah.
Try to put it in there
a lot of new
in
normals
a good context.
These days, Dave.
Just kind of slid that right in there. I like that. Now, to top it all off, and that might explain how this show's already going, it's a full moon this week.
Yeah, and it's interesting to debate how that might affect deer movement. there's been some studies on that kind of thing, and they kind of go both ways. Some research says it has a big impact. Some says it doesn't. Chris and I were talking before the show. I'm gonna bet this week. Who cares about the moon? This front is going to have deer up and moving. I think it's going to
supersede the full moon effect.
Yeah,
they're going to be up frolicking.
Yeah, and the best part is we have two fronts. We got the one that's pushing the rain in front of it today.
It's cooled off out there now.
And then a second front is dipping down through here Friday.
Right.
Which is dropping the temperature even more. Starts Thursday night, and goes into Friday that it comes through. So
and probably some folks getting a cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
it'll change the temperature and stuff.
We'll have our deer program coordinator William McKinley in here next week to talk kind of big picture overview of the deer season, and maybe we'll hear some stories about some big deer being taken.
Now, let me ask you this, because we just had over the weekend National Hunting and Fishing Day, right?
We did. The governor signed the proclamation. It was September 26th, National Hunting and Fishing Day, and our Governor Tate Reeves recognized that and recognized all that hunters and anglers do for conservation in the state. Not just conservation, but also the economy. We've talked about it on this show before. You don't probably think it, but hunting and fishing in Mississippi is a $2 billion industry. I mean, that's not chump change.
No, but it makes sense when you stop and think about it, because we're an outdoor state.
Right.
Yeah, and I think more so now people can connect those dots after we dealt with the world shutdown and how everything is kind of connected and trickle down if this happens or this. But which is why whenever in the last few years, unfortunately, we've had to shut down the season in areas where the flooding has had an impact, and by law, by the statute, we have to close the season down, and that's a big impact for the people that have the gas stations and the hotels and sell biscuits in the morning or groceries to folks, or gas, whatever. It's all so connected. So it's good to recognize that this past weekend, as we kind of roll into not that the season hasn't opened yet, but the big ones kind of start kicking off, and it's kind of here and kind of sets it off on a good pace.
Well, and especially when you get to deer season, the processors. The meat processors, that's another economic driver in the middle of all of this. So there are a lot of different aspects of it that people don't think. And if you've got the aim some of my friends have, the ammo expense alone
right
jacks up the sales tax like crazy.
Other stuff you don't think about too, just the land value in a lot of Mississippi is now driven by recreation and hunting and fishing and that sort of stuff, and that's adding. If you're have a place that you want to sell and it offers good hunting, that adds a lot to it.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the thick of it. We've got the weather to go outside and enjoy the outdoors, especially in hunting season. I don't care. You can get excited about bow season. You can get excited and all pumped up for it and ready. And I'm sorry, if you roll out of bed and by 9 a.m. it's 89 degrees, it's a completely different experience than if you roll out of bed and you walk outside and it's 48. That's a completely different start to the season, I think.
I agree. It's a little... It gives you the alarm clock is not so harsh when it goes off early, when it's some cool air waiting for you when you walk outside.
If the floor isn't cold when you roll out of bed, it just drains a certain amount of excitement out of it. Now, with bow season opening up, you got hunter specials at state parks, right?
That's right, and would encourage any listener who's particularly going to be hunting any areas near some of our parks to go check that out, because we're offering special rates. We've done this the last several years, but continuing that, offering hunter special rates for cabins at state parks. So, if you don't have a camp to stay or don't have a place like that, you can always go stay at one of our cabins and get that whole kind of rustic, outdoorsy experience to go along with it. So
now,
there you go.
You also, and I just don't think it's a coincidence that you've got a brand new Parks app and Amanda's back at the same time. You did the app, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Okay, I was just curious. It seemed coincidental to me.
We have rolled out a new Parks app, and the agency's done a really good job the last several years at kind of getting with the times on technology, and we've taken advantage of a lot of the app technology that's available on smartphones, and this is just the next iteration of that. So I can't speak to all the bells and whistles of it. I haven't played with it, but it's there if you want to use that to reserve a cabin or visit a park or whatever. Go check that out.
Major, as we head into break, just very quickly from the C Spire text line, they said, my handgun identifies as a recurve bow. Can I use it this weekend if I keep the shots in bow range?
No.
Okay. I figured that would be a quick, simple answer. Right. I just had to throw it out there. It's Mississippi Outdoors Radio. When we come back, we're talking Mississippi Outdoors TV on this Monday. Keep it here. Welcome back, Mississippi Outdoors Radio, and I feel like we have been promoting reruns on Mississippi Outdoors TV for about 8 years, Adam.
They don't like it when they call them reruns.
Excuse me, encore performances.
That's better.
Yes, encore performance. Is that better, Scooter?
That's much better.
Okay. I'm trying to lean into the company line here. Scooter Watley, the producer and videographer, and of course the now returned star of the show, Amanda Mills-Jones.
That's right.
I'm just trying to get you in trouble at this point. We're just going to make you the star. Now it's starting up this week, right, Scooter?
Yes, Thursday starts a new season. And I'm really excited to talk about it. It's our 31st year on the air.
Oh, wow.
Which, if I do the math right, it's 89 when we started up. So,
wow.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of good new shows this year.
You know, I don't know how much we have in the state that started in the 80s that's still going. That's an impressive run.
Yeah.
It really is. And you've done a little bit of everything all over the state.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've gone from one end to the other, deep sea fishing, and all the way to the north of the state, to the WMAs, and Black Prairie, things like that. So we've done a lot of stuff statewide.
Now, is it? And I got to ask you, because you're a producer and videographer, so you're out there with a camera.
Right.
How many times is it a challenge to keep that camera going in the spot that you need it to be in to get the shot that you want while everything's happening?
It is quite challenging. We used to have this running joke that the camera deletes your options for 50%. And if you got the camera, then you most likely it's going to be tough. So, it's one of those things, but we overcome it, and we still make good shows every year, all different shows. I try to come up with new and different ideas every year. You can only show so many, hunting shows, fishing shows, so we try to break it up and do some non-consumptive things. So that's what we're doing a little bit more this year.
Okay, so you're branching out a bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
You ever dropped the camera in the water?
I have not.
Okay.
I've dropped it out of a short tree, and but I have not dropped it in the water. No.
Okay. I was just curious. Do you have it like in a plastic bag?
Oh, no. You just got to hold on to it.
This is a brave man, Adam.
How many years, though, Scooter, have you been on the show?
I've been on 16 years. 16 years. It'll be 17 in February. And we have had some really rough seas. Now, I've been you had to hold on. The boat with one hand, the camera the other. Well, I've been there several times, but no instances yet. But 16 years, it's been a run. You
know what that tells me? Somebody at some point told him, "You drop this in the water, it's coming out of your check." That's what happened here.
Yeah. That camera's probably a little more expensive than the ones you just go get at Best Buy or something, I bet, too.
I would say
they can replace me, but they keep the camera.
Yeah, I would suspect that's a bit of a high rent one. Now, you've been doing it like 16, 17 years. Mm-hmm. Just out of curiosity, before we get into talking about this year's shows and everything, you think back, I'm going to put you totally on the spot here. Favorite show?
One I did with Melvin Tingle. It was a turkey hunt up in his part of the world, in Decatur. And he always calls me on things that, the week before it's perfect, and then the week of the hunt, it's, I'm not really sure. So we go up on a turkey hunt, and it's windy. It's like 20 mile an hour winds. And we go and, we sit, and the decoy's falling over with the wind, and we're not hearing anything. And, of course, there was a bird in there last week. So we're sitting there, and we're about to go. It's a little chilly. And all of a sudden, we're calling loud. And you can't, hear each other from this distance. And here comes this turkey walking right up the road, gobbler walking right up the road. And he got that bird, and the look on his face when he pulled that trigger is priceless. Because we had no idea there was even a bird around with the wind blowing like that. But we got it done, and that's just one that stuck in my mind, with Melvin and pulling that off.
The good stuff kind of sneaks up on you sometimes.
We were about to go home.
Yeah, but that's the way it works. A lot of times you have in your mind, and Amanda, I'm sure you're going to agree with this, you go, well, this will be okay. This is something to do, and then you get there, and all of a sudden it's like, this is perfect. Mm-hmm. I bet you've had that experience too.
Oh, yeah, often. There's Mississippi Outdoors is fun because you're all over the state, and like Scooter said, you may be on the Gulf Coast deep sea fishing, or you may be at Pickwick, and that's been some of my favorite memories is just meeting the different people throughout the state. Like Kathy Hurst, I probably 10 years ago went smallmouth bass fishing with her, and we just had a blast. The weather was great, and the day before it looked like it was going to be a horrible forecast, but we got it done. So yeah, it's just, you never know.
I did a fishing trip with Jarius Norwood, who was from Brandon and then went to the pros, and we caught like a 10-pound bass, and he about jumped out of the boat because he wanted to make sure that fish did not get away.
That was a great show.
And it's still, part of the clip runs on the open, and that was incredible. So we've had some great adventures.
Did you ever go and do a shoot and it just didn't make it to the air because it was literally you in an empty field for an hour?
That happens quite often, yeah.
I turkey hunted straight for 28, 29 days, something like that. And then finally that last day we got a turkey. But yeah, for the longest I was like, well, did we just give up?
You just never know. You just got to go. You just got to put the time in.
Yeah.
And it may happen, it may not. So what? If it doesn't happen, we just go back the next week with that person or go on another show.
And that's the beauty of the outdoors. You get to do it again if it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's a hard job.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you guys when you have to take another run at something. I don't know. I will say this. I cannot believe, I understand why you left now. I had been wondering why you left because Amanda was gone. You were gone for what, like 6-7 years? And now she's back. I understand why. After that turkey hunt and realizing Adam didn't throw her a bone and tell her where to go to get a bird, she just left. She packed her stuff. It was your fault, Adam.
Well, it made her appreciate it more.
It did.
I actually remember that one, too.
And
I remember
it got me hooked on turkey hunting.
You ended up getting like one in the afternoon or something, wasn't it?
Late. It was the last afternoon of turkey season, and finally got one.
See, there you go.
Yeah, Trent Evans caught it up for me.
Yeah, not you, though.
No, not Adam.
I'm not a really good turkey hunter, Dave.
It just plays one on TV.
Yeah, that's it. It plays one on the radio on a regular basis, I can tell you that. Now, it was 6 or 7 years ago, and you co-hosted with Melvin that Scooter just talked about. Right?
I was fortunate to get to spend time with him, and I grew up watching him on Mississippi Outdoors, and when the opportunity came for me to be on the show, I jumped at it and got to meet a living legend, Melvin Tingle. He was a hero, so it was fun.
And I would assume, and I may be assuming incorrectly, and you'll correct me if I am, you kind of formed a relationship with him. It wasn't just when the cameras turned on that you guys talked after you've been doing it for a little while.
Yeah. My dad's a football coach. He's retired, but I mean, Melvin knew my mom, my dad, and at the time I didn't have little girls, but eventually he did get to meet my daughters, and so it's you become family. Scooter and Rusty are, I mean, they're like a bunch of brothers running around that I have. So sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not.
Well, it depends on the day.
That's
I'm
right.
sure that's the way that usually works. Now, it seems like there's a different approach to this between just going out into the woods and going, I'm going to get me a turkey today. And going out into the woods and going, I'm going to get me a turkey today, and we're going to get it on camera. That's got to be a completely different trip.
It is. It's harder, but you build confidence up in some of your WMAs, and some private lands that they know where they are, and so you just go where they're going to go anyway, and you just have a camera with them and with you, and so it makes it easier when our WMAs have good turkeys, and I can go with somebody like Adam or the area manager, and know, not 100%, but about 85%, it's going to happen. So that's a real confidence builder when you're trying to get something on camera.
Well, and it seems like it would be difficult to me, because I'm thinking about this from the behind the camera side here, to make sure you're in the right spot with the right angle, because I'm sure sometimes this happens and the hunter is between you and the prey,
right,
and that shot's not really what you were hoping for.
Right. You just have to look at the scene when you get ready to sit down. You have to know what might be a road you can shoot down, or a higher level than you are the hunter, so you can shoot over his head, with the camera. But you got to survey before you sit down. You can't get directly behind the hunter with a hunter in the tree and then you, because you can't see anything. You got to go off left or right, and you got to figure it out.
Yeah, so you got to go out there. Do you ever go out and walk the area ahead of time and go, where am I going to get? You just that's a game day decision. Is what
when
I'm
you hear him
hearing.
gobble, you sit down and you find once he sits down, the hunter, you figure out where you're going to go next.
Okay, and then you go from there and hope you guessed right.
Correct.
Yeah, there's guesswork in this.
Yeah.
Amanda's laughing at me, but it's because I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to show up and hope the magic happens. That's all you can do.
Adam doesn't miss a shot.
Yeah, I have heard that. Well, in his secret spots.
Yeah, of course.
He goes out with somebody else to their place and miss. That's just the way it works. Something about the windage at his secret spots just really works in his favor.
I take a lot of abuse on this radio show.
You're
I really
welcome.
do.
I felt sorry for you last year when the limb hit you in the eye and you lost your call.
Oh, I
at the
forgot
same
about
instant.
that. Yeah. That unfortunately never made the TV though.
No.
We were
Well,
we,
how
we
did
were
that
we were
happen?
walking along and a stick hit me in the eye, like literally, like just perfectly. It got wedged under my eyelid,
Oh.
which
And
was
lost
bad enough. And I hit the deck when that happened.
Yeah.
And then like 10, 15 minutes later, I realized my best turkey call I had spit it out when that happened and lost it. So
We're going to the break with this sympathy pain for you. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, Mississippi Outdoors Radio, and it's time for your Gateway Getaway of the Week. And this week, it's Natchez State Park in Natchez.
That's appropriate.
They worked that out well, I think. Natchez State Park, just 10 miles north of Natchez, the oldest settlement on the Mississippi River. The land was originally inhabited, of course, by the Natchez Indians. That's where the name came from. And then followed by the French, who colonized the city in 1716. Natchez offers 50 RV campsites and 10 cabins. They have camping, picnicking, fishing, all in their 230-acre lake. That fishing is good over there. I've heard that from a lot of different people. Natchez State Park, by the way, one of the few state parks that has a WMA adjacent to the park that offers hunting. That's one of those park hunting specials, I would assume, one of the locations for it. Right, Adam?
yes.
Firmly on the spot. That's where I put it.
He's on it.
He'll check on that and get back to us later. You can make a reservation either way. You can call 1-800-467-2757, or you can call the park itself at 601-442-2658. And don't forget an annual park permit, $50. Gives you access to all of the state parks in Mississippi for a solid year. You cannot beat that. You really can't. If you'd like an annual park permit, call 601-432-2219. Your gateway getaway for this Monday, Natchez State Park. I love Natchez.
It's a great place.
It really is. It's a fantastic place. Now, let's get back to Mississippi Outdoors TV. We've been reminiscing a bit here, but we've got a new season to talk about, guys.
We do. It starts Thursday, October 1st, and we're going to have a youth dove hunt at Muscadine WMA, and it's a really exciting show. There's a lot of doves flying, kids. I mean, you can't get better than kids and out there with their parents hunting. And we had a red snapper fishing trip on the coast that goes with that show on the 1st. And we have, several unique things I talked about, some non-consumptive things coming up. The next 2 weeks in a row, we have alligator hunts, which that'll be exciting. But then we have a falcon hunt, a duck hunt with falcons.
Oh, wow.
And this was like a 3-year project because their season's real short. And so it took me like 3 years to get enough for a TV show. But we've got that going on in the 22nd of October.
So, wait a minute now, Scooter. Tell us how that works.
Yeah, I was about to break in, too, Adam.
It's,
I'm on the edge of my seat here already.
Yeah.
Well, they train these falcons, all year long, and they molt in the summer. But then in the wintertime, they get them ready to hunt, and their weight just has to be exactly right, and they send them up, and we go out and find some ducks on a pond. It can be, even the season can be closed, actually, and you can duck hunt with falcons up through March the 15th, I believe. So we go out in these little cow pastures in Grenada and find these little ponds about big as this room, find a duck or two on it, send the falcon up 1,000 feet, and you flush the duck off the pond. And within about 10 seconds, boom, it's done. It just comes straight out of the sky like a bullet.
Wow.
Take care of the business.
Wow.
It's impressive. The first 2 times they said just stay on the duck because you won't be able to follow the falcon. And after I had all that, he was about right. The next 2 or 3 times I did it, I picked him up, and it's immediate. He tucks his wings back and looked like a bullet, and the duck can't tell what's going on until it's too late. and it's incredible.
Well, I would assume that's probably natural for the falcon.
It is. It happens all the time.
The training involves in getting it to bring it back to you.
Right. They say it happens in nature all the time, and nobody sees it. We're going to get to see it on Mississippi Outdoors this year.
Do we have a lot of people that falcon hunt in Mississippi?
No, I mean,
there's a
I don't know
handful.
what the number would be, but it's a few dozen. There's a permit process to go through with it, but I've never actually seen the hunt part of it, but I am aware that they catch the falcons wild. Like
They
the
do.
training part of it. I think
We should catch a falcon.
I think they
Yes,
they do.
because we issue permits for it. Like you get a permit from us to go trap a falcon
Yep.
in the wild, and they catch the wild falcon, and then they train it to hunt for it.
That's our falcon program, and that's the thing I was talking about. Just trying to think outside the box, do things other than hook and bullet. You can only do so much of that. So we've got that one coming on. We've got a snipe hunt coming on, and yes, they're real snipe. It's a snipe hunt coming on later in the season, and then our big thing is our black bear research project that's wrapping up, and that's another 2 or 3 year process because you got to capture them and all this kind of stuff, all the video. And I didn't do most of it. Our department, our bear guys, did most of it with cameras, with trail cameras. But it's really good. It's fascinating, and all you need is a pack of donuts and a culvert trap, and you got it. We got some cubs. We don't have them to show. So.
Have you tried picnic baskets?
No, we tried everything. We tried sardines, everything, and donuts work best by far.
I am not surprised. And now, see, I just feel compelled to ask, so are we talking Krispy Kreme? Are we talking Hostess powdered? What kind of donuts?
Got to be Shipley's.
They were Shipley's
Okay,
plain,
there you go.
hot,
Amanda's got it.
plain donuts. Just plain
And
hot.
Shipley's would trap me in. I love Shipley's.
I think our bear guys actually get the day old ones, when they want, they're only going to sell the hot and fresh ones, right? And then
That's right.
all the ones that didn't get sold for the day, we go trap bears with them.
Yeah.
I had no idea, and we've had the bear guys on the show before. I had no
bring that up.
idea. Every so often, they're going through the backwoods of Mississippi like Johnny Donut seed, just sprinkling these things, I guess. Wow, this is an educational show already, and we haven't even seen the episodes yet.
Right. That one will be actually one of the last shows in the season in February. But we've got so many things in between that. We got the Governor's Hunt coming up, where Tate Reeves' his first outing with us, which is very successful. He's a good shot. And we've got another show called we're tagging catfish out of the Mississippi River, blue cats, big blue cats, and we just catch them, 20, 30, 40 pounders, stick a tag in them, and that's another one of our projects for the department, and see where they go in the Mississippi River over years of time. We just track them, and so that was quite interesting as well.
I love how he just so casually offhand, we go catch them 20, 30, 40 pounders.
Well, this guy's good. Now Bob Crosby, he's an outfitter out of Vicksburg. And I've been with him where we actually caught a 60. But it wasn't during this program. It was a couple of years ago. But now he just, 20, 30 pounds to him because, Mississippi River has big catfish.
Yeah.
So that's fairly average, for the Mississippi River, 20, 25 pounds, 30 pounds. And so just tag them, let them go, and track them.
I'd just like to say there's good eating on one of those.
There is.
Just want to point that out. And I think Amanda had an idea. Can we ought to loop this in next time somebody starts the permitting process to go capture a falcon. See if you could go with them.
Yeah, sure.
That would
Get
be
one in studio.
interesting to me.
You see him right here. See him right here in the show.
I'm in. I'm in. I'll lose a finger, but I'm in. I have no problem with that. So if it's donuts for a bear, what do you trap a falcon with?
Oh, that's a good question.
They, I think what it is like a little cage with some sort of wire or hoop at the top, wire links at the top, and so you put bait in there. I don't know what they use, like a mouse or whatever
mice
it is.
or something,
and the
I'm not sure.
falcon or the hawk or whatever it is comes down to try to get it, and then its talons get sort of tangled up in the little. It looks almost like fishing line on the top of the trap, and it gets caught in there.
Okay.
You catch them as juveniles and just raise them, and like normal pet, they'll do anything you ask them to do. They won't fly off. They'll come back. So it's quite interesting.
I'll tell this story real quick. I think it was about a year ago. I was down on one of our WMAs working, and one of these falconers showed up to hunt. Was going to squirrel hunt with a hawk, and what blew my mind was he had caught that hawk only like a month before. Like he'd only had the thing for like a month, and he had already had it trained to squirrel hunt for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, we have small dogs. This is why we're careful, because sometimes we walk out in the yard to take them out because, occasionally they have to go out for all of us to be happy. And there'll be like 8 hawks circling over the yard. And I'm like, everybody back in the house. Because they will. They will strike like a cobra to do that. I just didn't realize that happened in Mississippi.
Yeah, it's rare. We've got, I don't know, 8 or 10 falconers, but they do it religiously. They love it.
That is really cool. Really, really cool. Amanda, let me ask you this. In all the years that you were on the show, falconer hunting has got to be up near the top, but what's the strangest thing, the one that sticks out that you were involved in when you were co-hosting the show that you think back and you go, wow, really?
Yeah, it would have to be...
I bet I know what it is.
When Ricky Flint... Well, no, there's a couple. Well, Ricky Flint had me sex this alligator to find out if it was male or female.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It's been a great show. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
That was extremely
should have saved that for the end, Adam.
Yeah. And then
how did you get talked into that?
I don't know. I was young and stupid, I guess. I don't.
What about that squirrel hunt, Amanda?
Yeah, and then the other one is a squirrel bit me on my foot.
That's true. I got it on camera.
What?
Yes.
Now, had this squirrel been like shot or injured, or did it just run up in the wild and go, yeah, foot?
I can't.
We were shooting at it.
Yeah.
And it was running and jumping, and it jumped.
And then
to
it
the
jumped
ground.
on the ground and then onto my foot and just chomped down on me.
Teeth marks on her boot.
Yeah.
It didn't go through the boot, though.
Well, a little, yeah. I mean, didn't get to my skin, but
okay, but close enough.
Yeah, got my boot pretty good.
Did that turn you off of squirrel hunting?
No, but I was a little more cautious.
Right.
Squirrels on the ground.
She wears an extra pair of socks now. I guarantee you that.
I wonder if that could have qualified as a workers' comp injury. Like
certainly,
the
right?
Squirrel bites the toe. How do you explain that?
I would think so.
How do you file that one,
I
Dave?
would love to see how you fill the form out. That's what I would like to see. That paperwork's going to be you frame that when he comes into the office and put it up on the wall. Final segment of Mississippi Outdoors Radio on the way next. Welcome back to Mississippi Falconer Radio. It's what it's turned into. I mean, we just spent the entire break discussing this because that's really, really cool. And Adam, we got to get something else on this.
We need just a whole falconry episode.
Yeah, we do. But this makes me wonder, and this is what's so great about Mississippi Outdoors TV, is that it exposes us to things that not only do we not know happens in Mississippi, we never even think about it, period. And I would bet that's not the only thing like that would fit in that category.
No, it's not. It's not. You just have to go out and find it. You have to search for things that people don't know anything about, in the hunting and fishing world, and do it. And like floundering at night, on the coast, walking the sand beaches. Most people don't think about that, but we've actually done an episode of that. And there's a lot of those little things like it'll come to your mind. Just look at our website. That's how I got the idea with the falconry program. I was looking for something, semi-knock or something. And I saw we had a falconry program. I said, hey, we can do something with that. And it took 3 years, but we got it done. There's a lot of little things like that.
Well, that's kind of like the big canoe trip on the Mississippi River you did. That last season or the one before? That was really cool, too.
5 days, yeah. Yeah, I saw something on Quapaw Canoe Company on the internet, and I called them up, and they said, yeah, come on down. And it's been 5 days out of your life, but you'll love it, on the Mississippi River in a canoe. So we did that.
That is really cool, especially knowing that there's 60-pound catfish just underneath you.
Yes, there is.
That could be hungry.
Right.
And let's address this that came in on the text line. Nobody said they weren't eating the ducks.
That's correct. Usually when the falcon or the hawk will catch the duck, either one or two things will happen. He'll immediately get the duck away from the falcon and like give him a pigeon or something else out of his bag to eat. Or if it's feeding time, he'll let the falcon have the duck. It just depends. But the duck does not go to waste for sure.
Yeah. Either way, the duck is used.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is harvested. It's not just killed.
Correct.
So just wanted to clear that up. Amanda is sitting here wondering, I came back why? I can see it in her eyes. She's like, I was happy and now I'm here.
My kids and family and now it's us again.
Trying to train my dog and then
not happening,
then I'm back here. But in all seriousness, you look like you're happy to be back.
I am. I'm happy, and I did it for so many years, and my biggest fans were probably my mom and dad, and now it's pretty cool to have my biggest fans, 2 little girls and my husband to watch me, and they love it, and Mississippi just has so much to offer. So I'm honored to be back to represent the state in the department and have fun doing it.
Oh yeah, and it's got to be a ball. You can't count this as work, can you? Really?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Come on, this doesn't count.
She makes us look good too, so it's all one big circle.
Yeah, it's the circle of life.
That's right. That's right.
Which is an appropriate thing to talk about on Mississippi Outdoors Radio. The wildlife biologist is nodding in agreement over here, so I know I hit it dead center. Now, new season starts Thursday this week, right?
1st. Yes, Thursday the 1st, and it will go through October, and then we'll take a break for November and December, and we'll start back up in January for 6 more shows till the end of February. So we'll have 11 new episodes coming up between now and February the 11th.
You just know, and this season we have a snipe hunt, so it's only a matter of time before they go doodlebug hunting.
Well,
it's
Scooters told me a little bit about the snipe hunt, and like they like get all dressed up and everything, right?
They dress up in the old English style with the boots and the hats and the vest, way back when period of time. And there's about 15 of them. It wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. And go out in the fields with the dogs. I thought I was, in Ireland or something. It looked perfect. Rolling hills. Right outside of Byram. You have to ride by it every day almost. But that's where they snipe hunting. And they were flying well. They were flying really well.
And they I guess you have to wear the ceremonial snipe hunting
Pretty
attire.
Much. Yes. One guy didn't, and they put him off on the other side of the
Well,
field.
it's safety reasons. I mean, you got to be safe when you go out and go hunting, even if it is just snipe. I'm serious. Put that on your little pad there, Scooter. Doodlebug hunting.
All right.
Just go for that.
Next season we're going to have
be a good kid show.
That's right. We're going to have to find Bigfoot next season, so we'll have an all new episode on.
No, you're not. You're going to look for Bigfoot. You're not going to find Bigfoot.
You're right.
When's the Black Panther episode if we're going down that road?
He's probably down there along the Pascagoula River somewhere. If there's a Bigfoot, he's down there.
There is actually just outside of Wiggins. There's a Bigfoot Creek.
That's right.
There you go.
There is a big. I've been there just a few months ago. There is a Bigfoot Creek. There is no Bigfoot, not that I saw, but there is a Bigfoot Creek. So I'm just full of ideas here today. None of them are good, but I'm full of ideas. So Mississippi Outdoors TV is back. Most importantly, Amanda is back. So it's going to be a great season. It is every year. And, of course, if they don't catch it live, and when can they catch it live and where?
They can catch it live Thursday night at 7:30 on MPB, and then that episode repeats Saturday night at 5:30 every week.
And then, of course, it goes into the archives.
It does. Because of MPB goes into pledge drives and things like that in December and November. We do some archives, and we might actually rerun some of these first shows. I'm not sure exactly how they do that, but some of these first shows may repeat until we go into January 7th is the second leg of the season.
Fantastic. Mississippi Outdoors TV, get ready. We're back in business. Adam, we are out of time, my friend.
Let's do it next week.
That is a bet. Mississippi Outdoors Radio next Monday at 12 noon. Dub Hughes signing off.